Hey y'all, so it is finally spring and we are finally able to get outside and start working on all of these projects outdoors that we have been putting off because it was raining or too cold. Now it is still very windy. We've got some wildfires going on around the state, but all in all it is a beautiful day and the perfect weather to be out here working and getting things looking refreshed and pretty again, because it's looked pretty dreary now for a while. Now, if you've been here for a while, you know that we have a goldfish pond that we have started that we're not done with, but we do manage to keep the fish alive from year to year. We're going to get started by relocating it to a different part of the garden, which is where I'm sitting under the pergola. We're going to be putting it over here so that my grandkids and us can enjoy it more, because back in the corner where I had it tucked, it just wasn't in a really good place for everyone to enjoy the full experience of the goldfish pond. And my grandchildren love to push boats around in it and play in it, and so we're going to move it over here for safety reasons as well as aesthetics. It gets full of leaves and it gets full of branches that break off of the trees that are above it, and it gets a lot of algae, really nasty algae. So if you don't have a filter and everything in it, which we don't, I just have a bubbler, a solar bubbler, then you know you're gonna have to end up cleaning it out at least every 6 months, and that's what we do. So we're gonna get that cleaned. I have some tomatoes to plant. I have some herbs that need to get that I have started indoors that need to get planted. We just have so many things to do. So let's get started on getting some of these things done. Alright, well, this is what the pond currently looks like, and it's full of nastiness. So I'm going to start by getting it drained and then start getting the fish out, and then we can start cleaning it out. As you can see, gotten it lowered by several inches, but this can take several hours to drain this whole pond, so it's still draining down there. I'll be back in a little while to check on it again. Now I'm just going to get this good and clean. Get all the algae out of it. I moved the pond over here, and the oak tree is dropping all kinds of little gifts in here. So now I gotta get the net and clean all that junk out. You can see the bubblers over there. I ordered a filter for it, a relatively cheap one with a little fountain thing, so we'll see if that works. I never put much hope in these solar fountains or filters, but we'll give it another one a try. Some of you may want an update on the baby chicks. Here they are. They're a month old now, trying to run out. Don't run out. We have 13 left. And we started with 14. One little one didn't make it. I need some clean water. Yeah. To get y'all some clean water in a minute. Alright, so on this planter over here, what do we have here? This is a green bell pepper. This one is a husky cherry red hybrid cherry tomato, and it's not looking very hot. These were mailed to me from Home Depot. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this planted so I can get these things watered. I raised these beds about, what did I do with the tag for that? Okay, what did I do with the tag? Anyway, I raised these beds by a good 6 inches this year, so hopefully I'll have better luck this year than I've had in previous years because there really wasn't enough soil. So that's that tomato. What's this one? Another bell pepper. This one's a big boy tomato, indeterminate. So let's get this one planted. This one is a husky cherry red tomato. And this one is another big boy tomato. So this is just going to be nothing but tomatoes in this bed. And now that I have them all planted, I'm going to go ahead and get these watered. All right, well, these are well watered. Hopefully they will perk back up. They're looking really sad after coming in the mail. I may have to go pick some up at the store because it's too late to start any more from seed. We'll see. And what I put in these beds, I'll put up on the screen, was some raised bed garden soil and black cow. That's what I've got in this bed here. As you can see, it's twice as deep now. Now I did have planters, these raised bed planters like this, along the fence over there, and I have moved one there and one here. I have straight 8 cucumbers. You can see they are growing. I just got caught in the netting. As you can see, they're all along here. I have tomatoes there and here. And I need to then get rid of the ones I don't want. There's a tomato and there's a tomato. And the reason I have this netting here is to keep the chickens and cats out of here. I'm gonna do it better than this, but that's just throwing it on there for right now to keep them out. Same thing with what I've done over here. Nothing is poking up through the ground yet, but I planted some crookneck squash over here, and I haven't put anything down there. Now Tommy mowed down all of the cannas to ground level, and those are growing back. Same with over here. And I need to figure out what I'm going to do with all of these T-posts. I cut back the blue potato bush because it pretty much just dies down to the ground in the winter. I need to straighten up all this and mulch all this and get rid of the cinder blocks. Not much survived in this planter. Chickens just dig all this stuff up, so I'm gonna have to figure out something to do over here. I think those are daylilies that are coming back. This fig tree here is blooming. I need to get it mulched. Which fig tree was this? Little Miss Figgy. But it's doing pretty good. Here is a very good example of what the chickens do to the roots of all of my plants. They dig around it looking for bugs. And luckily, this one doesn't seem too bothered by it. But we need to go ahead and get it moved elsewhere and have what I think is a cure for this problem. I moved this verbena over here. The chickens had dug this up. And I put this little thing around it to see if that'll keep them from digging it up this time.
Whole thing on it?
Probably half. We'll see. Not exactly standing straight anymore, is it? Need a better stake than what came with it. Maybe that'll keep the chickens from pulling it completely away from there.
Yeah.
Might need to get the bigger ones for the trees. But it's a start. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I boiled some water, added some sugar, and got the hummingbird feeder ready because it's hummingbird migration time. Hopefully this attracts some hummingbirds. I still have to, this was where the habaneros were in these three, so it doesn't look like anything's going to come back on this year, so I'm going to pull this out. There's some seeds in there I could have probably planted, but anyway, I'm going to pull these out and plant something else. As you can see, it's been taken over by weeds. So this is on the list of things to do later. I still need to fill this one up. Get all the weeds out of here and fill this one up with soil. So I have this planter, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That one there is 8. Alright, back there by the chicken coop, I haven't filled that one up with soil. That one's 9. And this one by the front steps is 10. I'm going to leave the wandering Jew that's on each end and maybe plant those jalapenos here. We'll see. The ferns are still doing good. That one and that one. And if you're looking for something pretty and colorful, this azalea is looking beautiful. Got my rosemary. I put all these in the garage when we would get freezing temperatures. Hello, kitty kitty. When we would get freezing temperatures to save them. That's what I do with my potted plants. So I've got grandchildren garbage to clean up. My lemon tree is doing really good. Or should I say it's doing good. Got lots of little flowers. Lots of little flowers on there. But I do need to give this some fertilizer. I dug this rose bush up and put it here. The cat keeps trying to make it a litter box, and this rose is probably going to just finish dying here. We got a pretty new flag flying in the breeze. And the Confederate rose hibiscus is blooming again. Needs more soil. And I need to get that pipe out of there, whatever that was, and add some mulch into that. It's behind my giant saw blade. That saw blade was over here, in front of these gardenias. It was here between the two crepe myrtles, and it was keeping the gardenias from doing well on the backside. So now that it's moved, maybe the backside will fill out some. Hopefully we're going to get a lot of blooms on the gardenias this year. Here's what's left from where the pond was. We're going to take all of these moss rock and we're going to define that garden bed here that has a large Confederate rose hibiscus, the elephant ears, and a lantana here. So we'll kind of go like this and go around and right there. And this is where my washing machine dumps out at here. It's been doing that since 1968. We're not changing it. So I'm not sure. Is this Confederate Rose Hibiscus going to come back? Yes, it is. I see some leaves on here and on there. So looks like that one's good. I would hate to lose this one because it's really big. Anyway, it's that ugly time of year before everything starts to bloom and fill in and look pretty again. Our water system is still working well. We are ready for if the power goes out so that we can water plants still and water our chickens. Up on the porch, we still have a Christmas cactus and this fern and some lilies in that pot right there. And then we have this ivy over here. And then over here, I just went ahead and put those mustard starts in there. And what was this one? But this one's sage. And the reason all these little things are in here is to keep the cat from digging in it. Same with this one. I'm trying to teach the cat. Let's move this all the way. I'm trying to teach the cat to quit laying in these. These are my new deck planters. So I'm probably just going to go to the store and buy some plants, some petunias or something, to go in these empty ones here where the cat destroyed my starts I was trying to harden off. He kept knocking them down. You see a couple right there. He kept knocking them down when I'd bring them out to harden them off. So I just went ahead and stuck the ones that survived in the dirt. Said forget it, either you'll make it or you won't. I got my shrimp plant mostly trimmed up a couple of weeks ago. I need to get all that dead off there. I'll finish doing that today. Shrimp plants are pretty easy to take care of. And that's a hydrangea that's coming back that looks like it needs some pruning. So I'll get on that. Tommy got this patio all clean. I just have some stuff over here to put away. But he did at least get this clean. We haven't decided what we're going to do with it yet because it is cracked and heaving. And that cord goes out to the chicken coop over there where the babies are, and their brooding plate is keeping them warm. There are some bulb plants in here. I cannot, some sort of lily. Gets this really big stalk and a pretty red flower. I can't remember right off the top of my head what it's called. It's not a, I don't think it's a spider lily. Anyway, when it blooms, I will be sure and let you guys know. And I moved my bird bath right there. Alright, well, it has been a very busy day. I've about had it. It's time for me to go in and cook dinner. Then we have a birthday party to attend tomorrow. So it is my intention to do a garden walkthrough video every Sunday from here on out to show you guys the garden as things start to grow and as we start to harvest, to do a video updating the chickens, and to try to get on a more regular schedule with my video posting, because I have not been on top of that lately. But in my defense, I've had not one but two family members come live with us. After the first one left, then my 83-year-old uncle had a stroke and came to live in our guest room, and I have to take him to doctor's visits 3 or 4 times a week and speech therapy. So I have been very, very busy. But lack of a video does not mean that I wasn't doing something. It just means I didn't have time to record it and then edit the video and, you know, get it posted. So things are still moving along here. We've just kind of changed direction in the way we're doing things. We're still living here, but at the same time, it is our 5-year plan to get everything finished and buy more acreage so that Tommy can have his cows and I can have a bigger garden area, because I would like to eventually grow all of our vegetables that I could possibly grow in my state. So lots of people, I was a realtor for almost 10 years, and people like their green grass, and they really aren't into, you know, English gardens with that aren't as neat and tidy as some of your subdivision neighborhood lawns look. And if it were up to me, I would have very little grass. But anyway, so I'm clearing everything out that was in the center and moving it more to make it look more like a regular subdivision yard, much to my dismay. But I think it'll sell better if I tidy everything up and get it looking, you know, in what in my opinion is more boring. No offense to some of you, but I think we waste way too much time and energy and water on growing grass. It's just not my thing. But anyway, you know, in order to move on, we've got to get it back to the way the majority would like it looking. So we're working on that. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next Sunday with a garden update. Y'all have a good week.